We begin by making it in the food processor with sliced almonds. These are not slivered, they're sliced, which will make it much easier to chop into a really fine, even dust, because we don't want it to be a paste. And granulated sugar and flour. And now this will be processed until it's powder fine. And the flour and the sugar protect the nuts from becoming pasty as well. The mixture is now powder fine, and the butter is soft, so I can add about a third of it. Mix it in, and you can do this with an electric mixer, or you can do it by hand because it's really quick and easy. Now I'm going to be adding another third, or about a half a cup. And now that the almond flour mixture is moistened again, the second egg, and the rest of the flour mixture. And this is all there is to making an almond cream. The only addition that I make is a little vanilla, because vanilla has a way of bringing out the almond flavor. It's a beautiful smooth cream with little specks of the almond, and now it's going to be refrigerated until it's creamy and soft, and but still soft, but it's firm enough so that it can be spread into the tart pan. Thank you. And now we're going to poach the pears. The pears are peeled and rubbed with a bit of cut lemon so that they don't become brown, and then sliced in half, and a melon bowler is used to scoop out the core. And you can worry about the stem after it's poached, and also this little center section. Okay, and please, Gloria, place it into the pan. Actually, first we're going to put the poaching ingredients, and you can add them, the water, and if you like a bit of eau de vie, I like to use a pear liqueur, Pear Williams, and the sugar. And bring it to a boil, or at least stir it until it's evenly dissolved. I like to use a whole vanilla bean because the little seeds are wonderful to add to the poaching glaze, and it also gives a wonderful flavor to the poached pears. Split it down the center, and then add it to the water, or to the poaching liquid. And these pears can be poached 3 days ahead. In fact, they gain in flavor the longer that they sit in the liquid. But of course, they're going to be refrigerated if you poach them 3 days ahead. But at least poach it an hour before you're ready to use it, because it should cool off in the poaching liquid. And they have to be upside down, so that the rounded side is up. And in order to keep that rounded side from becoming brown and oxidized, the secret to that is a piece of parchment laid on the top so that the condensation of the liquid as it's simmering will moisten the tops of the pears. So this goes on top, and then cover it. And now please bring the pears that we've already poached, that are ready and cooled. And remember to save your poaching liquid, because that liquid is going to be boiled down and used to brush on the top of the tart. Use a skewer, a wooden skewer, to poke in the thickest part of the pear, and if it goes in fairly easily with just a little resistance, it's poached enough. Allow it to cool completely in the poaching liquid, and then take out and drain the pears, but save that poaching liquid because we're going to be using it. And now it's going to be sliced. I'm going to slice it into a fan. And here's the trick for slicing a fan-shaped pear without having it fall apart. I've just taken 2 pieces of thin cardboard, cover them with foil, and now when the knife goes down, it won't go down all the way. So starting at the base, and I like to do it fairly thin because then when it bakes, it opens up and it's really beautiful. And see, I'm slicing all the way down, and it sounds like it's cutting to the bottom, but it can't because the cardboard is there on either side of the knife. Okay, and now this pear will be ready to be placed in the tart after I put the cream in. But first, I put my hand on it and press it lightly to fan it. It's okay if it breaks now a little bit, because we're going to pick it up with a spatula. So if you would like to continue, Jane, in cutting the pears, I normally use 6 in a 10-inch crust. This is a 9-inch crust, so 5 will fit in just perfectly. And the pastry cream, but you can see how beautifully baked and golden it is. And it will continue baking at the bottom, so it will be a nice crispy crust against this beautiful almond-flavored cream. Okay, and now the pears will be evenly placed all around. And what happens is that this pastry cream is going to puff up all around the pears, so leave a little bit of room between the pears. Okay, now they're evenly spaced in the almond cream, and we can take it and put it in a 350-degree oven for about a half hour, or until the pastry cream, the almond cream, puffs up around the pears, turns golden brown, and when we touch it, it springs back. I have some glazing liquid that I made from the poached pear liquid that I've boiled down to 1/4 cup, cooled, and then thickened with cornstarch that I'm now brushing on the pears and on the almond cream to keep it moist and luscious. And it also keeps it fresh longer, as well as making it delicious and more attractive. Okay, after the tart is glazed, in order to serve it, I'm going to unmold it by setting it on something that is slightly smaller than the center of the 2-piece tart pan, such as a bowl or a little canister. And if that happens, just turn it around like that. I like to slide it off the bottom so that I don't cut the bottom of the tart pan when I'm serving. So just slide a heavy-duty or a thin spatula, and if it's a non-stick pan, it will just slide right off on its own. The most important lesson to have learned from this tart is that when you pair 3 different textures in a dessert, you have complexity, you have a delicious, elegant presentation, and a really special dessert.